Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel, Tammy Talks here. We are here to talk Love is Blind Season 2, Episode 8. If you're brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns on various TV shows, both scripted and reality, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So, if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my other future uploads because I am doing separate episodes for separate recaps, I should say, for each episode of Love is Blind. Kudos to y'all for being in the comments, being respectful. No one is spoiling anything from what I've seen. I've been like peeking in and out at them. So let's go ahead and get to it. I don't have a lot of notes for this episode because I did not really care. About like the whole wedding dress tux shopping scene. So I'm gonna go through that part first. So the really notable things that I noticed, Ayanna brought Jared's sister with her. I thought that was kind of cool. On the other side, Jared was saying talking to his friends about how he's a little worried about her financial stability because she wants to be a doula. She wants to go get her master's. He knows that those things take money. She's not as established in her career as he is. And he knows that he's going to have to make some sacrifices financially because, they're going to be paying for these things together. And she just might not be working. So he's a little worried about that. Mallory brought her friends because her sister and her mother could not come. No, your sister didn't come because your sister does not approve of what's going on. Unfortunately for Mallory. I know y'all don't like Mallory. I like Mal. So, unfortunately for her, I felt bad for her because you can see just how down she was about the whole thing. She felt the way because everybody else had like family there. And like she said, it's hard to really celebrate like a really big moment like this when you don't have your family around you to kind of help you out and support you. Natalie and Shane's mothers met for the first time. For whatever reason, Natalie said that she could not introduce them. But Natalie said that she cannot introduce them ahead of time or whatever. Nonetheless, everybody just picked out some really nice dresses. Danielle's mother was loud up in that store. Danielle's sister was loud up in that store. I'm sick of hearing about Danielle's self-esteem issues. I'm sorry, but I just am. Every conversation does not need to revolve back to the fact that you have self-esteem issues or that you have body self-image issues or anything like that. I'm sick of it, Danielle. You're gonna have to find a new storyline, sweetheart, because this is getting tired because you're repeating the same patterns, and we're gonna get to it. So as far as like the couples and what they have going on, I wish we got more interaction with just the couples. I'm sick of seeing them meet each other's parents and all that other stuff because they're saying the same thing. So Shane and Natalie. Shane comes in to meet her parents, and he has flowers. He thinks that family approval is very important. So he's worried at the fact that she didn't tell her mom and she didn't tell her dad about him necessarily, but he knows why she did it the way that she did. So he said that he was one that picked Natalie. He wanted Natalie because she gave him a lot of reassurance in the pods. Yeah, because you want to hear how pretty you are. You want to hear how much of a good guy you are. You want her to tell you she loves you every single chance she gets. That's not going to last long with Natalie. But because after meeting him, her mom feels a lot more comfortable with them and with everything that's going on with the process. So hopefully things work out for them. So she meets his mom, and she tells his mom how much he talked about her on the honeymoon, and for her that was something that was really big for her. I always say if you want to know how a man is going to treat you, look at how he treats his mom. Right? Because most men that have this like profound and just like big love for their mom, the way they treat their mom with respect and stuff like that, that's how they're going to treat your wife. That's how they're going to treat their wives, and how they typically treat their girlfriends. So that was a big thing for them. He asked his mom right in front of her, does he approve? I said, okay, so kudos to them. I don't like seeing Shane. I don't like his voice. Sal and Mallory. So they had an argument, y'all, and she slept in the guest room. Apparently, Sal's ex showed up to his sister's house, kind of mad that he is now engaged and getting ready to get married, and went through this process. His sisters let the girl in, and they had this like long conversation. Mallory was upset about that. She felt the way about that. I need a little more clarity. So did that happen when they were at the sister's house? Or did they get a phone call? I felt like we didn't get enough clarity about this situation. But Sal said that they were just dating. They were never in a relationship. She knew what it was. He told her what it was. And that the girl was just kind of mad that he was in the experiment. He said he always made it clear to her, you can date other people because I'm going to be dating other people. So Mallory is kind of questioning like how serious he was with her, because how does she know your sisters? How does she know where your sisters live? I had the same question. So y'all were just dating, but she feels comfortable enough to not only show up at your sister's house uninvited, but to dump all that on them. So Mallory asked him, so do you just introduce everybody you're dating to your sisters? Because I would like to know too, Sal. I would like to know as well. And so Mallory is kind of feeling like, is there someone else that you want to be with? Because if that's the case, then we can, peace out, my brother, because what we're not going to do is play in her face, right? I like Sal, but I really want Sal to grow some facial hair. Men should have facial hair, to me at least. Men need facial hair. So he tells her that he loves her. He confirms that he loves her. He only wants to be with her. That woman is just, an ex or an ex dating situation that he probably didn't clear up the way that he should have, but he said they were not in a relationship. So if that's what Sal is saying, that's what Sal is saying. So she said that she's going to trust him and move on from this. But if there is more mess like this, she is done. I said, put that foot down, girl. Put your foot down. So later in the episode, he cooks dinner for her. He said this is his famous stir fry. It's the only thing he knows how to make. Sets up a nice little like romantic situation for them. She's excited. She loves it. They talk about how they love how open and forthcoming they are with the hard conversations. And I will say they seem to be one of the couples that do have the best, most adult, coherent conversations involving conflicts, because I feel like a lot of adults don't know how to do that. You know what I mean? There are so many people that just don't know how to handle conflict just in general. So the fact that they are able to have these like adult conversations, work through everything that's going on, be open, be forthcoming with their emotions, for her, that is just making her fall more in love with Sal kind of after every fight, because it shows like he's not just out here on no bullshit. Like, he really sees what is bothering me, what he can do differently, what I can do differently. So, fingers crossed for them and that everything works out for them. I don't feel like they're going to make it, though. But we'll see. Deeps and Shake, they are out at, I think they're just at lunch. And he is saying how she is the perfect girl for him. He loves her personality so much. They get each other. Their conversations flow. The communication with them is good. She like mentally stimulates him. Emotionally is everything. But he says that they just don't have that physical attraction that he would really want out of somebody. And like, while I do get what Shake is saying, and I think I said in my last one, I think Shake is just, in his mind, he feels that he can only be attracted to a white woman with blonde hair, because that's all he's been dating before. I just feel like he's not trying to have the attraction with her. And he's focusing so much on her looks that he's kind of making it awkward for himself. So Deep said that He said he feels just like more like a best friend. Deeps points out you should marry your best friend. And Shake is like, yeah, but I also want to be able to have that physical attraction. Um, but he says in confessional that the emotional connection that they have is outweighing the physical for him right now. It's better, and he's hoping that because of that, that they can go forward, and he can't see himself like um he can't see himself like not marrying her. Deeps, on the other hand, says that she's usually into white guys, but she is making it work with Shake. I don't think they're gonna get married. I don't think it's going to work with them personally. Jared and Ayanna. Her adopted parents came over, and I said they look more like your siblings. I don't understand being adopted by somebody at 22. Now, I maybe I missed something. If someone can clarify for me, okay? Are these like godparents that adopted her? Who are these people that adopted her? Because she wasn't in the system at 22. Were they foster parents? If someone can provide a little more clarity for me, because I believe I missed that. I missed it. So her parents want to know what is it about Ayanna that made him want to propose. He said he fell in love with her resiliency. And the mother was like, okay, but you don't really know her. It's been 2 weeks. You don't know how funny she is and how, sweet she is. And I'm like, ma'am, don't you think he has somewhat of an idea that she's funny at this point? Don't you think? I didn't like her mother's line of questioning at all. Because if I'm telling you I was attracted to your child because of their resiliency, and then from there I started to know more about them, and your response back is you don't know how funny she is. What? They, I'm not gonna say what I was going to say because it was gonna be rude. They also point out that, well, I guess Jared brings up that they've had like some small conflicts, and it's more about the fact that he likes to go out. So they ask him if he is ready to adjust to a married lifestyle, because like we see, she's an introvert. I still question if he invited her to Taco Tuesday or if he just told her he was going to Taco Tuesday. But he said that he is a person that he's ready to, flip it and start doing more things that involve married life. He knows that he can't be out all the time. He knows that he has to do things in a different way, and he's ready to get married to her. I like Jared. I know y'all don't like Jared. I like Jared. Do I like Jared and Ayanna, I don't know. And I think it's because she's going to harp too much on the ex situation. And I think she's going to harp too much on the fact that he likes to go out. Now, I saw someone in my comments that said that Mallory is not just an ex to Jared. She is his first choice. Mallory is not an ex at all. These are not relationships in the pod. I know they like to make it seem like they are. These are not relationships. Mallory is not an ex. Yes, Mallory was his first choice. That is Ayanna's situation, Ayanna's fault, Ayanna's everything for choosing to accept a proposal knowing that this man was going to propose to someone else. So that is on her, and if that is not something that she can deal with, then I don't know what to tell her. I mean, if they're still together now, can you imagine how she feels watching this and seeing the way that he was sobbing over Mallory? She shouldn't have accepted the proposal. She just shouldn't. So I'm sorry, but I don't have any grace for if Ayanna has or feels a way about Mallory when Mallory is not doing anything to Jared. We haven't even seen them talk or interact or anything since they first met each other at the little beach thing. Danielle and Nick are wedding tasting, okay? I'm sorry, wedding cake tasting. They're wedding cake tasting. And Nick, one of the cakes tastes like Fruity Pebbles, apparently. Nick said that's his favorite cereal. I said, you just called her immature last episode because she likes to play Rock Band and play with her little blow-up air guitar. But you say that Fruity Pebbles is your favorite cereal. I'm not saying it has to be like a Raisin Bran, but damn, Fruity Pebbles. So they are talking. Danielle says that some of the arguments that they have had so far, if they were just dating this many arguments 3 weeks in, they would have been done by now. Nick is shocked by that. And I'm like, why are you shocked? You basically said the same thing a couple episodes ago. But Nick is asking what arguments have they had that have been that bad. They start this argument, y'all. All of the arguments are stupid. Like, we have all agreed on that. But they start arguing over the fact that Danielle's point is she thinks that Nick has a problem with her hanging out with her friends. Nick said that is not the case. So apparently Danielle had something planned with some friends for a couple of weeks. They went to hang out. Nick asked, is every weekend going to be like this with us kind of hanging out separately? Because that must have been how things are going now. Danielle took that to mean that he didn't want her to go out. And she said, you seemingly. And Nick was like, did I ever tell you? He said, I'm just wondering, like, are the weekends typically with your friends? Are you going to invite me to something? Like, how is this going to work? That's all that happens with that. Danielle, of course, I think she just likes to argue. Danielle just likes to argue. So Danielle starts going on and on about how, well, you don't want me to hang out with my friends. And I'm like, granted, we don't know this conversation. We're missing a lot of these conversations that we're missing a lot of their arguments, for one, which is very annoying. But Danielle. And every time they're in these arguments, Nick looked like he just wants to pull his hair out because he is tired of the fact that every little thing that he says or tries to have a conversation with her about, she turns into an argument, and she does a lot of assuming. And we all know what happens when you assume. You make an ass out of you, and sometimes me is how I like to say it. But I'm so sick of Danielle, y'all. I'm so sick of Danielle. Like, it's like Danielle doesn't want to be married. She doesn't. Danielle is not mature enough to be married, for one. And I think the fact that anytime Nick says anything that might not, anytime Nick says anything, then Danielle might take as like some shade. It's like she runs with it. She doesn't even give him a chance to explain what he was talking about. And then I don't feel like Nick can communicate effectively because he gets so frustrated that you can just see him shutting down. Whew, wow. So I'll be back with what's next, y'all? Episode 8. Catch y'all in the next one.